good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever time of day it is for you guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. A lot of you probably don't know who I am. I intend to make myself very known within the space of anime Roblox games right now. That's gonna be my current goal. I want to try and be somebody known. But if you guys do know me, you guys know I like to record GPO content for the channel and kind of like fighting game videos. So things like ABA I'll record, I'll live stream my game sometimes, stuff like that. But that's besides the point. How are you guys doing? Title of the video, you guys see it, everything wrong with GPO. Now a disclaimer before I continue anything further. This video is not meant to bash the creators or the devs. Nothing of the sort, right? It's not meant to bash the community and the things that go on. This is just meant to point out things that I see and give my opinion on the state of the game. Now, that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, leave a comment. It helps me out. It helps you guys out because it'll let me know what you guys want to see and what you don't want to see, I'm open to all opinions. If you guys want to leave negative comments, try to be a little nice about it. But just let me know, hey, this is not something I agree with, or this is not something we want to see. I'll respond 9 times out of 10 and I'll give you guys feedback and let y'all know, hey, this won't be getting done any further, or this will continue to happen. Just to let you guys know, y'all's voice is being heard. That being said, let's continue with the video. Now, there's a few topics I do want to tackle with this whole video. One being the dev team's progress, the trading branch, how that gets, the pay to win, and then obviously I can't just leave it on complete negatives. I have to explain how I feel about the game and why a lot of those things shouldn't really matter, but they do matter. Now, to start off, I feel like the easiest thing to explain when you get into this game is the pay to win system. I feel like if anything, that's going to be the first thing you encounter. It's very hard to be a newcomer in this game simply because a lot of the things that you want to do, you can't do without a lot of playtime, right? And I'm not sitting here saying, hey, reduce the game's grind time, right? I'm not saying that. Everybody knows this game is extremely grindy. You have to play and you have to put in the time if you want to get your levels up, right? I feel like that's pretty fair. And honestly, when the game does have updates, they're very generous with their codes and whatnot. I put in 2 times XP quite some time ago, 2 times drop rate a long time ago. I still have both of those meters running on my game, as you can see in the video, because it's going to be up, right? But aside from that, when you first load up the game, anytime there's a new event, anything of this sort, you can load up the game immediately and you're not getting slammed with microtransactions, nothing of this sort. But they're sprinkled in throughout the game, and I don't think it's a problem to have them sprinkled in and littered around, but the pricing of everything is through the roof. Now, if you guys know the game, you understand what I'm talking about. For those who don't understand and want to get a better understanding of what I'm referring to, okay, I'm going to bring up a screenshot of the price of an all-seeing eye, right? Now, an all-seeing eye is probably one of the most valuable items within the game, no matter what type it is, right? Because I believe they all essentially do the same thing. I think the only difference comes with the devil fruit drop rate, right? Well, not the drop rate, but the pity. You could get an all-seeing eye through grinding a boss. Right now, I believe you can still get the all-seeing eye through grinding Cupid. I'm not too sure on that. I have to fact check that. If that's untrue, I'll just cut it off the video. I believe it's 10,000 Robux. 10,000 for one all-seeing eye, right? And keep in mind, this is going to link back into another problem that the game did have. I don't know if it's still as prevalent as it was before, but the game definitely did have this problem before, right? When this game is pay to win, right, at certain levels, you can have a lot more levers than everybody else, which is going to affect the trading, right? So we could kind of switch over and transition into that, because these two things go hand in hand. When you have a game that's extremely paid to win and you have a trading system, money over everything. Money rules it all. So again, if you're a newcomer or you're a kid who's playing this game, right, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have a ridiculous amount of money to spend on GPO or any other game for that matter. You're going to want to try and join the game, play for free, right? As anybody would. This game definitely does allow you to do it, but at the cost of a lot of game time played. Now, when a new event drops, you have weapons, you have items, you have clothes, things like that. Usually the weapons are the things that go for a lot. And if there's no alternate version or prestige version of it, the base weapon itself will go for a decent chunk on release. Let's say you have like 1,000 Robux to throw away. You might buy that weapon, right? Whether it be for yourself or whether it be for trading purposes. If it's in the sense of a trading purpose, you know how valuable that's going to be on day one. So why would you wait and only stop at 1, right? Which is what I feel like a lot of people do. I don't feel like anybody's going to talk about it, but I do feel like that's what a lot of people do. They'll buy a bunch of weapons, they'll trade them. They'll buy one, trade, buy another, trade, buy another, trade, and slowly kind of build up their inventory and their portfolio saying, hey, I'm a good trader. I have a bunch of new and valuable items for sale. But then the next problem with the trading system comes into play. A lot of people, they don't want to get rid of their valuable items for anything less than what they themselves believe it is, right? Granted, I wouldn't want to get rid of, for example, my World Ender. I got rid of it once for my friend, and he ended up returning that World Ender back to me, right? Now, I get it. I really do get it. Nobody wants to have a losing trade, right? But with the way the game is, it's very hard to have a winning trade. And at the end of the day, you have to look for what you want, right? Everybody can't be greedy. Everybody can't possess everything the game has. So you have to be realistic. And that's where the problem lies. Everybody is unrealistic. Now, if you're aware, you know there was a problem that happened not too long ago to where, they messed up the trading values really, really bad. And what I mean by that is there's this one individual who ended up, I don't want to say becoming a kingpin, but he had his own separate branch of the game pretty much dedicated to him. It wasn't a combination effort of the dev team and him. It wasn't anything to where they were kind of like not necessarily sponsoring him, but giving him that push to where he was at that level. No. He had a separate section to where he kind of dominated trading values. Now, keep in mind, if you play this game and you're in the servers, GPO has their own trading server values, right? They literally make a Google Docs for anybody to view to where you can see the trading values and the worth of each item, right? And it's up to you to determine whether or not you think this is a good trade or this is a bad trade. And it's supposed to be done right there. Granted, you can have people help you. Hey, WRL trade, right? Type that in the server. They'll tell you, okay, this is pretty good, this is pretty bad. But they give you all the tools necessary to see the value of everything in the current moment in time, right? So you're not getting scammed. This individual managed to have people trade the craziest items possible. There were people trading legendary and mythical items, right? Whether it be devil fruits or weapons, for kilo, a common devil fruit. That's insane. That's absolutely insane, right? And now this comes from ignorance of people not knowing what's good and what's bad in the game. I get it. I really do. But people, you have to wisen up. And that's what really made the issues happen. He managed to dominate that section of the trading servers completely. He had a whole separate Discord server to where I believe if you joined, I'm not too sure on this information anymore, but if you did join and you were caught in that server, I believe it was bannable for either in the GPO Discord server or through the game itself. I'm not too sure. I'm not too keen on that. Don't quote me. But it was crazy. And it kind of allowed for the game to have a lot of issues in terms of values and whether or not people are lying or getting scammed. And it kind of slowed the trading market down a lot. And obviously not good for games, not good for the devs and their playtime and whatever they're trying to accomplish. But it's something that happened, and it's something they worked on, as well as it's something the community tried to work on. But that as itself being something that's possible to happen and did happen is a big no. It's a big no. That's something that should have never happened. Granted, it's not something the devs could have foreseen or taken control of in the moment, but it's something that happened. Now, me personally, I don't think it's something you should blame the devs for. It's more so something that the community has to work on as a whole, because they gave the tools, they decided to ignore them. Crazy. Now, another thing I would like to talk about, which I feel like everybody talks about when they mention GPO. This is one of the only things people say when they mention, hey, this game is so terrible, or hey, this game is absolutely unplayable. And it's the update times. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like the update times either. I feel like they take way too long. I don't know what it's like to develop a game. I don't know what it's like to do coding or do GUI models or anything of the sort. But I do believe certain times they can work a little bit faster. I know life happens and things like that. But for your community's sake, I feel like it would be better to do, smaller updates leading up to one big update, to where, for example, you work on smaller updates, like you drop one island every 2 months. I feel like that will keep the game way above where it is right now, One island every couple months, boom, leading up to, big update to where one section of their team is working on the biggest update, like update 5, right? Hey, let's do third seed, let's do fourth seed, and let's kind of try and make that happen within this year, to where first 2 months they might drop a side island. One Piece has a lot of content, and if the game is based off of One Piece, throw in some filler. They could do smaller islands, filler islands. I don't think anybody would be against doing like filler fruits or movie fruits, anything like that. They could do stuff like that. Smaller islands, better update times. It'll give the community something to want and want to do. I think it'll be better for everybody if that's the way things went and happened. But everything can't be perfect. And I'm not expecting everything to be perfect. But I do feel the community should be given a little bit more in terms of stuff like that. Yes, they do a lot of smaller updates, things like quality of life, balance changing, things like that, model fixing, trying to optimize the game for players who don't have, as beefy systems as everybody else. Yeah, that's perfect. That's okay. But at the same time, I also feel like that's something that should have been guaranteed. Like, I don't think that's anything less than what people should be expecting. I feel like that should have been the standard. And, to kind of hype that up or big that up, I feel like that takes away from, quality of the game. But honestly and truly, the main issue is the consistency of the updates. I remember last year, 2 years ago, this is around, I don't even know, Thanksgiving time, I want to say, there was a mention of a Christmas update. That Christmas update did not drop for, I want to say, 2 months. The Christmas update didn't drop until February. And then there was a mention of the Cupid update. The Cupid update did not drop for quite some time. And, it's kind of crazy to think about, but it's something that's pretty normal within the GPO community. but I wish it is something that would change. The consistency of the updates is in fact killing the game. But it is what it is. I'm assuming they're going to work on that at some point. I don't think it's anything that won't get worked on, but I really do hope that that gets fixed. And let's conclude. So that'll be it for the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy, like, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm here for all types of comments, whether it be negative, positive, anything of the sort. I'm just here to interact with you guys and try and build my community. Speaking of community, if you guys do want to join the Discord, I'll have a link in my bio and in the description. You guys can go there, join the Discord server. I'm trying to build up new members. It's probably only like 5 of us in there right now, but you guys can join if you want to. There's a link to my Twitch as well. I stream on there sometimes if I'm playing non-Roblox games like Marvel Rivals, things like that. If you guys want to join, of course, it's all up to you, but I would greatly appreciate the support that any of y'all give me. And with that being said, enjoy y'all's day.